Okay, so we're back. If we have this here like this, but let's do, I want to open something real quick. Do I have, maybe here? Yes. Okay, so I just load a scene. That's how you do it. You go to File, you hit Open. It'll be in your Scenes folder usually. It's where a scene is what you have saved, basically. A scheme. That's what you have saved. If you don't export it, you just save it. It'll save it in here in the Schemes folder. And I just went back and grabbed one because I wanted this tile. This is a tile that I made for my desert tile set. As you can see, you can kind of see how the corners raised here, corners here, here, and here. If you look at it from the side view a little bit more, you'll see how it goes over and down, you know, kind of deal. You also look, this is how I usually work in Gmax. I just have the perspective window all the way up. That's how I usually work. But if you wanted to, this is your front view, top view, side view. If you were wanting to look at it like that. I don't use those views. I can work everything out of this window for me, but if for some reason I needed to, I could. If you hit F, that'll take you to the front view. If you hit T, that'll take you to the top view, from top looking down. If you hit R, that'll take you to the right side view, from the right. If you hit L, that'll take you to the left side view. If you look, the little triangle's pointing to the left. Now watch when I hit right, it'll be pointing to the right. Front, it's pointing to the back. T, top overhead down view. So those are some quick shortcuts. Also, it doesn't really like to work on my computer too well, or my mouse is kind of jacked up, but if you hold down, let's just hit the pointer. If you hold down your center mouse button, or in my case the scroll wheel, you hold it down. Well, again, like I said, it's not going to work. Well, anyways, normally if you hold it down, it'll turn the view around to where you can kind of like, one way lets you grab it. One's the hand. I can grab this with the hand and move this from side to side, up, down. And mouse, wheel, mouse in, zoom in and out. And the other one is lets you rotate around the object, which is this one here, this icon here. Also, let's go, this is your move icon. So if you grab this, you can move it on the y-axis. We'll go back to the center. If you move it this way, you can move it on the x-axis. Again, we'll undo again. And then you can move it up and down on the z-axis. And then we get back. Now, you can do that, but if you want to be more precise, here on the x, I'm going to move along this x-axis. I can say, let's do 300. And it's going to move it 300 over. Bam. Okay. If I wanted to go 200 toward the y, I can go 200 toward the y. Now, if I do a negative 200, it's going to put me on the other side of the black line. See how it was over here and it goes here, because this is the negative side, this is the positive side. Currently on the x's, we're on the positive side of the x. If you go on this side of this line, you're going to be negative. So to get over there, you'd have to say do like negative 500. Will take us over to this side of the line. At any point in time, you can do 0. It'll take us right back to the line. And you do 0, and it'll take us right back to this middle line. Now, if I want to raise it up, you can do here and say, let's do 600. Bam, raise it up. If I do negative 600, that's going to take it down below the base ground. 0, of course, bring me back up to here. Now, by grabbing this base, this is a base, by grabbing this, all your models, so if I had a tree on here and a bush on here, maybe a house or whatever I had on here, all that should be linked to this. Now to link them, let's just do, let's just select everything. I'm holding down my left mouse button. I'm sliding it over, highlighting my objects. If I hit this button right up here, which is called Unlink Selection, you unlink it. Okay, now what happens if I move this, hit the move key, and if I move this 400, notice this object did not move because it's not linked to that box no more. So I'll go back and undo. Now if I want to link it again, then I select my objects and then I go to the link tool, grab it, click on the object, and then go down and click on the box, and you see a highlight for a minute. That let me know it's now linked. And so now if I go to move this object, it'll move with it now once again, and you can do backspace. So there's your moving tool. Now rotate works kind of the same day. Click rotate. You can rotate along the x-axis, this one here. You can rotate along the y-axis, this one here. Or you can rotate on the z-axis. Z-axis will spin it in different directions. So let's say I want to do 90 degrees. You can't really tell it because the object's completely square. But let's do, say, 36. See how it just turned? Now let's say I want to do, so it's 36. So if I switch this to, say, 100, it's going to do it a little odd. If I hit back to 0, it'll take me back to the 0 point. But anyhow, that's the arrow is pointing this side. But if I move it 90, there, that's how you can see it. That point, see that point now drop down here. If I do another 90, well, you can't do another 90. You got to do 180. 180. That's the opposite of this side here. Now, if I click on it again, you still see the 180. So if I go back to 0, it'll pop it right back over here, and it turns everything. So that's your rotation tool. So we've covered that. Let's do importing. So I'm going to move this out of the way, or move. We'll move this tile out of the way because it's something I want to use later. I'm going to go to import. You go to your Gmax, and you go to MDL loading. Go to browse, and once you go to browse, and you can pick whichever one you want. Let's start off. I want to go with the 2, and then import. And once this imports, now you can see here's what we got going on. Problem of it is that it's not the exact same size, or not size, I mean it's not the same height. If you look, if I click on this, right click, do Editable Mesh, I'll be able to click on one of these verts right here along the edge, and I'll tell me what my height is. If I hit move, 15. That's way too high. Okay, so I only want this to be at 500. So that means we got to come down 1,000. So you're going to get to see what I was talking about. Let's go ahead and let's click this, hit move, and we're going to drop this to -1,000. Whoop, that's only 100. -1,000. There. Now, if I right click on this, that should tell me that I'm at 500. Yes. I've got the move. I got one of those verts clicked, and it's saying that that vert is at 500, which is what I want. These ones are going to be a little high. It'll be 525. Yep, see, exactly what I was wanting. Okay, so that's that. Now, I need to delink this. So I'm going to highlight, delink it. I'm going to grab, oh, let's unhide all. Let's see. Let's see, so unhide all. There's the, this is the actual texture for like the sand, and this would be your walk mesh. They tell you, if you click on the blue rainbow, it tells you right up here. You see it has the Aurora walk mesh applied. That means it's the walk mesh. And if you see here, it just says enabled mesh. That's my what the texture be applied to. Anyhow, so both of those are there. I'm going to unlink, or select them both, unlink them, go ahead and raise this back up, move. I want it back to 0. It won't move these now. They're setting at 500. Now I'm going to go back, select both of them, link them to the square. They're now linked. So if I go to move this now, or move, they'll move together. Okay, now this is the height I want the ground for this to be. This is my tile set's ground. This is where I want. Okay, this is the tile. This is a tile I grabbed from another tile set, and if you look here, this is the water texture. This is the ground texture. And now we'll look at manipulating it to fit this. But I'm going to cut this video here, and we'll be back in just a minute.